Hello and welcome everyone to our second of the year affiliate. Was it second or third? Anyway, I believe it's the sixth one in this series, the DSD affiliate hangout for the training for the UK crew. And I have got the lovely Kenya Alu here to talk to us about her experience with the affiliate side of DS Domination and also, her story in general and how she's been getting on with it. I will just pause something that's about to kick off, and as I normally do, and interrupt me and throw me off. So bear with me 2 seconds, Kenya. I love live stuff because you can make yourself look so silly just by looking at your screen and wondering what's happening. So bear with me, people. I just don't want to be interrupted by myself. The reason I have the other window open, in case you're wondering, is because we've got the chat section. So if any of you are watching and you have any questions for Kenya, or myself or anything, then please don't hesitate to look underneath the video and you'll see a chat section where you'll just be able to type in your questions, and then right, that's paused and we can officially kick off. So apologise for that little glitch. Welcome again, and Kenya, first of all, in advance, thank you very, very much for coming on and sort of agreeing to have a chat with me. It makes a big difference for us over in the UK to have that connection with the US-based leaders in DSD, and I know you've been doing a heck of a lot for your team and obviously the US crowd as well. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me.
Well, I want to thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be here. I'm thrilled to be here. Actually, I watch what you guys do in the group, and I follow you all, and I'm inspired and impressed with all of you. So I'm very happy to be a part. Thank you.
Cool, no, not a problem, thank you. Right, I did, just to keep everybody in the loop, I sent Kenya a little list of things that we would probably do discussing, and I have said to her that she's more than welcome to elaborate on any of them. So I'm literally going to be working on the same little list of questions or topics that I sent you earlier, Kenya. And I suppose it would be a good place to start to just, if you could share with us your experience of sort of why you joined DSD and possibly a bit of your story prior to DSD, if that's cool.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm a registered nurse by trade. I went to nursing school. I was a single mom for 12 years. And during that time, I would say over the last 20 years, I've been dabbling in the MLM industry, looking for that extra income, looking for that thing that would give me freedom, because as a single mom, I'm sure I have single moms in the audience here, when you're trying to juggle a job and providing a good amount, not just to live paycheck by paycheck, you want the freedom so that if your child is sick, you don't have to call in sick to work, all that stuff. It was just such a stressor. Well, I never did get to retire myself. During that time, my daughter's 21 years old now. But I did get a lot of experience in different companies. And for the first 15 years, I failed miserably. In and out of, I could probably count. I want to say it's probably between 8 and 10 companies that I joined and put down the investment and tried to do it. Now, the problem was, first of all, they all require recruiting, and I had no skill set. I had no training. I am not one that's going to tell you that it's impossible to recruit. I know there are a lot of people that aren't good at it, don't like it, join businesses and can't do it, and I get that. I absolutely do. But I am one who now does know how to recruit, and I started recruiting in my past company, which was a recruiting-based company. So it's a skill set that you have to learn, but not everybody wants to learn it, and I get that. It's just not, not everybody wants to do it, and that's okay. And when I started noticing in my past company, the problem for me was I was recruiting, and I actually did quit my nursing job back then about 3 years ago, almost 4. Quit my job because I had replaced my income, but there was something unsatisfying because I started to feel like every person I brought into my business Like I knew they weren't going to make their $500 back, or I knew they weren't going to make their $1,000 back, depending on where they came in, and that was just a weight on me. And I started to look around, and actually, I knew Roger from the previous company, which we were not on each other's team at all. We were completely cross-line. But I started listening to him, and he would do some trainings, and I would hop on those trainings, and he actually was one of the first people. There was probably the second person. My mentor in my past company taught me a lot, and Roger in his trainings taught me a lot about developing that skill set. And you know, he ended up leaving that company, and when he left, I was like, you're one of the only people I learned from. Why'd you leave? So anyway, he starts telling me about this eBay thing. Well, I basically had no interest at all at first.
Very honest of you.
I mean, it was eBay. I had never had a desire to do e-commerce or sell on eBay, or it just wasn't. And I had a good thing going financially, although I had that internal conflict of the business. And through a series of events, long story short, I ended up joining DS Domination during pre-launch, and I just kind of put my toes in the water, just test it out a little bit. And a couple of people who had followed me through several companies came with me to DS Domination, and for the very first time, they made money from home. They followed me from company to company, never making a dime, because they liked me. They were making money from home using DSD, using Pro, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is revolutionary. And as you can imagine, my excitement took off, and I can't imagine building anywhere else outside of this whole cost offset model, because I want the masses to win. I want everybody to win. I believe in personal development. I believe in developing your skills. I believe in learning more. I believe in learning how to talk to people and get them into your business. But I believe more in the ability to give someone an opportunity that I know they can succeed in. Absolutely. And this is it.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think it is it's one of the few businesses, in fact, it's the only business in, 10 years. By the way, I apologize if you can hear some radiator gurgling in the background. I'm hoping it doesn't come out of my microphone. Sometimes interrupts people. Yeah, it's the first thing I've been involved with in over 10 years where the little guy can make money. It's not just about somebody with a massive list who can just fling out an email and make instant thousands of dollars. It's about being able to build from a very small outlay to start for Joe Bloggs to do himself, and as you say, from being able to just build an empire really from very little indeed. And I think it is something you touched on there, is it's all very well finding something that you make money with yourself, but when you start to build a team and you see them succeeding, that makes your own enthusiasm just go through the roof, because you're really happy they've joined you, but deep in the back of your mind you're thinking, God, I really hope they make money with this. And the moment you see them making money, you think, you feel amazing, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's
cool.
Incredible. And I know that if people join DSD and they don't make money, it's because they're not doing the training, or they're not spending the time they need to spend. It's all on them at this point here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some freedom in that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can, as much as we don't like flinging things back at people when they say, oh, it doesn't work, there is something they're not doing if mm-hmm. it's not working for them. And it's I know you spend a lot of time with your team. Do you do any one-on-one coaching things with your team yourself, or do you tend to try and sort of help people in mass?
Well, for the most part, it's in mass. I do have a leadership group within my team that I do spend more time with. one-on-one because they're my leaders and we're developing the team together and that sort of thing. I do, if you're a personally sponsored member of mine, like my frontline person, I do, I'll look at their first few listings and that sort of thing. So I do that. I hesitate to say that just because it's kind of at a point where it's like it's a lot when you're sponsoring people. It's a lot to commit to that. Some people take me up on it. Some people don't, and they just soar. They just plug in, they get to work, and the first time I hear from them is that they made a sale. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't do a whole lot of one-on-one, personal coaching type stuff. I do, however, plug a lot of my people into Dani Johnson because, the skill set that I have learned and the skill set that the people I have plugged into her have learned is way more valuable than any kind of personal coaching I could claim to give. So.
Yeah, I love Dani Johnson myself, actually. I saw her quite a few years ago, but she kind of came back into my life through Secret Millionaire. She did the American version of Secret Millionaire, didn't she?
Yeah.
And, I came across her, first of all, I think, with Clean Easy when I was doing Clean Easy, which is are you aware of Clean Easy? So
no.
A UK company, MLM company, basically, with sort of selling cleaning products and stuff. Okay. And she's very much, her products and her trainings are very much sort of sold the main events for these companies, on the outside of personal development books and all this. And so quite a few Brits have heard of Dani Johnson as well, I'm certain.
Well, I know that when I go to her live events, and there's a large UK community that ends up that they're there. So hopefully I can see you at one of them live sometime.
Yeah, I'll hold my hands up. I've not been to any of her live stuff, but I should.
You'll love it.
Something first steps or something?
First Steps to Success, yes.
That's the one. Yeah, I was looking up on that. Yeah, amazing girl. Really is. I will just have a quick look at our questions area, and I can notice one of my team, Rachel Hall, is saying hi, Kenya. I don't know if you've come across Rachel. Guys, Kenya says hello. Guys, if you've got any questions, I know quite a lot of you at the moment will just be sitting back and watching and listening, which is cool, but if you do have any direct questions that you feel can be answered by either myself or Kenya, then don't forget to chuck any questions in the chat area underneath the video that you're watching. Moving on to basically, I've said in the list of things I sent you, I mentioned your daily routine. Does that, I know you've got things and interests outside your online business, or rather outside DSD. I don't know if you've got other online interests as well. Can you explain, possibly, feel free to share what they are, and also how you manage to juggle them around sort of everyday life and your DSD business?
Yeah, that's a great question. My personality type is like go, 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 go. So the first time somebody told me to time block, I was like, I can't time block. I'm too, it's just against my natural desire, I guess.
Your flow. But you want to be able to be more flexible.
I like to be free, and I like to get things done. However, sometimes the being free conflicts with the getting things done. And so I did. I had to come up with a system, and so I've done a couple of things. I'm going to show you a book that I just got, actually. I mean, I was doing it before on printouts that I had until I came across the Passion Planner. I'm sure you guys have seen it on Facebook.
Passion Planner. Who's behind that? Who's the name behind that?
It's a girl. She's a college student, and she is her name's Angela Trinidad. Oh. And she's here. I can show you like this.
Oh, cool.
So she is a college student that developed this whole book. You can go online, Passion Planner. You can Google it, and you can. I believe you can download a free PDF version. I had the free PDF for a while, but I finally did get the book. And there's a place for goals and priorities, and it's your calendar and the. Let me show you real quick. I'm gonna show you back here. Okay, so like this is a blank page, okay, and your day is going to be broken up by every half hour. And so what I do, and I just I used to do it like I'd wake up in the morning and I'd schedule out my day, whatever. Well, then somebody told me you should schedule your day the night before. Every night, schedule out your day, because what you're doing is you're pre-programming your brain to then you're pre-programming your brain. So when you wake up in the morning, your mind's already on it, and it's been working fabulous for me. I do a lot of things. I homeschool my kids. I have my business. I have the team that I run. I have my FBA business that I'm very heavily involved in, and I'm married. And you know, we have lives, right? And if I don't schedule my time out and go, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get this, this, and this done, and I'm going to do this from this time to this time, and this from this time to this time. There's some of the stuff that I can be sitting there with my kids, homeschooling them with their papers, and I can actually be doing some stuff that is not the type of, if it's not training, you know, you got to concentrate with training. But if it's answering some Facebook messages or something, I can actually do that while I'm homeschooling my kids. But there are some things that I can't. And I will tell you, one of the biggest time sucks, you guys, is Facebook. And I've learned that I even have to time block Facebook. Facebook is a necessary part of my business, as I'm sure it's yours. When you have a team and you have a community and they count on you, you're going to have to spend some time on Facebook. But how many times do you get on to answer one or two messages and you end up an hour and a half later still on Facebook? And it's just dumb. It's just dumb. So, yeah, so what I try and do is I wake up in the morning, not right away do I do this, but I check my emails and I spend 20 minutes on Facebook. Okay, I do that. Then I have to go work out. Because if I don't do that right then, I'm not going to get it done. And I'm a happier person when I'm working out. I feel better physically. I feel better emotionally. It's good for me. And I work out at home, so I don't waste time driving to a gym. I don't have time to be doing that. I work out at home with a video. I use PiYo. I love PiYo. It's a Pilates yoga video. And it works for me. So I save 40 minutes there because I'm not driving to and from the gym. And, you know, then I get my kids set up with their work, and we usually do that in the morning, and I'm doing a little bit of work during that time too. And, you know, a lot of my China stuff, all my FBA stuff, because I'm working on a branded product, happens late at night after the kids go to bed. So, you know, it's just a matter of telling your time where it's going to go, just like you have to tell your money where it's going to go with a budget. Mm-hmm. If I don't do that, and there are days that I don't, and the end of the day comes and I'm like, I got nothing done today. I ended up spending it all on Facebook or Skype. So, time block, very important.
Cool. No, that's a massive gold nugget right there. I think I can certainly learn something from that. That actually reminds me of a today, so I don't know quite where it's come from, personal development thing, but anyway, it's about goal setting and writing down your goals and being very, very specific. And the analogy that it reminds me of is giving somebody a bow and arrow, putting a target on a tree a few yards away, and then blindfolding them and saying, right, hit the target. And they will say, well, hang on, how can I see it if I can't? How can I hit it if I can't see it? And you need to have a visual, actual target of what you want to try and do and achieve. Yeah. And that sounds like a brilliant way of doing it. Yeah. Breaking it down into half an hour. I don't do that. Again, I'll hold my hands up. I don't do time blocks. I have to-do lists, and I do but I have specific to-do lists, not just spend time on Facebook, private message a few people, send emails. You know, I have specific numbers to achieve with those tasks. Say 20 emails out or 20 connections on Facebook and things like that. So I am very specific with it.
That's good.
But I think time blocks, yeah, I should definitely give that a whirl and not just try. I should do it and see how I get on.
Well, one of the things that I have really that I neglected, that I didn't really, even though it was my priority, I didn't make it really a priority, was the time with my family. Like when my husband would come home and it would be like that make dinner through bedtime hour, and sometimes I still have to get on a webinar or something at that 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock hour, and that's okay. That doesn't happen every night of the week, so I'm okay with it. But I used to just continue on my Skype or my Facebook when he'd come home, and I'd kind of make dinner but kind of do this, and it was just crazy, and I feel like there was not a focused attention. And so now it's like I time block that time, and if I'm eating dinner with my family, my phone is not by me. I don't care who's calling or messaging me during that time. It can wait. It's not an emergency. So that has been really freeing, actually. Mm-hmm. And Alessandro's happier, and I'm happier, and my kids are happier. So.
No, hats off to you. That's impressive. That's, again, there's a thing that I've always challenged people to do, and I've struggled myself, is if you ever go out for a meal or you want to spend time with people, but especially if there's a bill connected to it at the end, like a drinks bill or food bill, although especially, and it's really hard for people online to do this who use their phone lock, put all the phones on side table, and the first person who goes and gets their phone pays for the food.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and I've nearly failed at that a couple of times, and it's tempting to just reach out and check, but fair play to you to be able to have that discipline to say, right, nothing is disturbing this time. Brilliant.
Yeah, it communicates something to our families too.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. We can't have our head in the tech all the time, can we? On the sort of laptops and phones and stuff. Right, I'm just going to refer back again to a little questions area. I know before we carry on, there was one question that definitely came in, which I will handle straight away. And it does, I suppose it takes us on, it sort of allows us to transition quite nicely to the main topic, and that is obviously building a team and the affiliate side of DSD. So I'll crack on straight away. Kirsty Barber, again a team member of mine, I'm very flattered, I think there are quite a few team members of mine here. She's basically asking, are you more successful recruiting or sponsoring in person or online?
That's a great question, and the reason I'm hesitating is because I don't do a lot of in-person stuff. Most of my stuff is online. However, this is where my hesitation comes in, and I don't know what the laws are in the UK, and it actually varies state by state in the US. So in my state, it's totally legal, not illegal, it's legal. We are allowed to do this. I'll show you. See these?
Ah, cool. Little drop cards, are they?
Yep. So this is it's a cardstock, so it's heavy paper. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we take these and we put them on the driver's side window, not on the windshield, because people get annoyed. Not, on the door handle. We stick it literally on the driver's side windshield. And then when you go up to your car, they take this and they either stick it in their car or they stick it in their bag. So this is kind of an offline method of getting yourself out there, but it brings them online. Now, I do answer my phone. I do talk to people on the phone a lot. So I guess if you're asking me, do you have more success online or in person? If the in-person includes the phone, I have a very good close rate on the phone. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to attribute that to Danny Johnson's script books. Again, I bring her up again because I'm telling you, she has truly helped me grow my business. She has some script books. Let's see. I have them on the other side of the desk.
I have one myself somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So there's a script book that's called, one of her pages, I think it's like page 35. It says opt-in, script for opt-ins. She literally, you don't have to come up with your own language. You literally read the script, and it is the craziest thing, but your close rate will go up. I mean, you will start closing people and bringing them into your opportunity. You don't have to change a word on there. It takes the hard work out of it, but as you practice more and more, you're going to get more comfortable with it, and it's going to sound more natural out of your mouth, and people are just going to, it's the way that you're posturing yourself, it's the way that you're presenting it. You're putting yourself in a position of being able to choose who you work with. Mm-hmm. You're putting yourself in a position where you're able to essentially interview the people that are wanting to join your business, because you know what, you don't want everybody to join your business.
That was pretty profound actually for me to learn, which admittedly I learned it a while back, but having the power to say to somebody, actually, you've come to me with a sort of possibility of wanting to look at this. This may not be the best business for you. And that immediately puts you in the power seat, and they think, wow, this girl is not just trying to get my money. They're actually looking me at a real person with a, specific situation, and they're saying it may not suit me. And I think I agree. Once you're asking them the right questions, I think it's very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, and she really helps in those script books. I highly recommend you guys looking into them. If you're willing to get on the phone, which if you want to recruit, this is an affiliate hangout, right? So yeah. You obviously want to recruit if you're on here. Yeah, you can do other methods. I mean, I do a lot of different methods, but I have found that when I can actually get people on the phone, I get a feel for them, they get a feel for me, and it just works. You just have to be willing to spend that time on the phone. So, and it's not a lot because you're using a script book. You're not going to be stuck for an hour.
Do you find when you first started learning from Danny's script books, you were a bit it wasn't as fluid as you'd like? Obviously after a while you can pretty much roll it off the tongue. It's quite fluid, or because you don't want to sound like a robot.
I had, the first few times I read them, I had my pencil, and I'm crossing out the words in the book, and I'm going to say this instead. Oh, that's not going to fit with my opportunity. And I started using her books in the past with my last opportunity. That's not going to work. Oh, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like literally trying to change a system that is already proven to work, and that makes no sense. So I went to one of her events, and she said, some of you are out there changing the script books, thinking that you know better. And I was like, oh, she caught me. So I decided I'm never going to change it again. And since I quit changing it, my numbers are better. I mean, I have a higher, the number of people that I talk to on the phone, I'm able to close them better. And yeah, you do get more comfortable. After a while, you're not going to be reading every word. You're going to be maybe reading the first line, and then you remember what comes next. So yeah, the more you practice, the more it's natural for you.
Cool. I think it's probably a good point at this time just to say, guys, if you're interested in Danny Johnson's stuff, we don't promote any affiliate stuff on this Hangout. That's not what we're about. I guess you just go to Danny's website, and there's bound to be stuff on there. And is that what you'd recommend?
You can go to, if you go to smarternetworker.com, she actually has a 30-day boot camp that's free, and you can get her products through that site too. Cool.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Kenya. That's
sure.
That is in itself. That is probably that will make, as long as people take action and apply that. What you've just said, that in itself can be a real business grower. That can really impact people's businesses. I just realised I've clicked refresh, and it's going to kick in with the video again, so hang on a second. That was really silly of me. Yeah, I don't think we've got any immediate questions as yet, so we'll crack on with sort of the next part, and that is, again, we've kind of touched on that, but what would you say is your favourite method to team build? Obviously, you do the drop cards, but I mean, what have you found the most successful, or rather, what do you enjoy the most?
So to me, okay, so team building and recruiting are two different things. Okay. So to me, if we're gonna, I think the question might be more directed towards what's your favorite way to recruit, but I'll
Yes,
answer
it would be.
both because they're both great questions.
Cool. Okay.
So I love making YouTube videos. To me, I mean, I love the postcards, but YouTube videos are a very passive way. Yeah, you got to get the courage to make a video and put yourself out there. Once you do a couple, your first video will probably take you 20 takes before you do one that you know, like at all. I look back at some of my early videos and I'm just like, ah! But, people, I have recruited some of my most quality people through YouTube because they're doing research. They're watching everybody's videos and they're figuring out who they're going to be most comfortable with. Some people are going to be most comfortable with me. Some people aren't going to have any desire to join me. They're going to be more comfortable with someone else. And that's great because, I mean, that's what's so great. There are a lot of different personalities and you got to figure out who you're comfortable with. But the people who have joined me through YouTube stay with me. They don't quit. They have done a ton of research on me. They usually want to talk to me on the phone. So they'll watch a bunch of my videos, then they'll make a phone contact, and that's when they'll sign up. So they want to know that the person in the videos is really the person they're going to get. So videos are a great way for people, they feel like they know you, just like a hangout, okay? Mm-hmm. So, because they see your face and you're talking to them, and it's just my favorite, and it's passive because once you get it up there and ranked, it's not costing you any money at that point. It's just a matter of having your information available and being honest and being real. Like, don't inflate yourself. Don't inflate your numbers or people just want to join real people. They don't want fake. So
yeah, I'm a massive fan of videos as well. I think people can go a long way. I suppose you do have to generate the courage to make the videos, but it's almost the more amateur it looks, the more people will realize that this isn't some slimy person who's got really good presentation skills and is trying to get my money. That is a real person on there, and they connect. It's attraction marketing, isn't it? That's what it is. It's putting yourself out there, the real you out there. And
exactly.
A lot to be said for that.
I mean, I feel like if I have to compare two videos, and one video has a link and a very professional production, and the person flashes their, whatever number, I'm not going to say a number, but however much they're making and all that stuff, I feel like if I'm going to join that person, I'm probably not going to get much actual interaction with them. I'm probably not going to get, if they're not even giving me their phone number before I sign up. As opposed to the person who, maybe they have made, $3,000 a month on eBay, and they're building a team, and they have their phone number so I can call them and maybe interview them a little bit. I'm going to feel like that's going to be my personal connection. That person is the person that is going to be there for me. If I have a question, they're going to answer me. They're not going to be too busy. So yeah, it is very much a personal feel.
So you want to be treated as a human rather than a number.
Yep.
I totally agree with that. What do you say? This is a question off the top of my head. What point did you start promoting the Astonishing as an affiliate?
When did I start promoting as an affiliate?
Yeah,
obviously.
Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I started pretty right away. I didn't wait. The first couple weeks I didn't promote too hard because I hadn't made my first eBay sale yet, and I kind of was like, well, I kind of need to know that this works. But in the sense that I had a team and they knew I came here and they joined me, I guess I won't consider that really promoting. some of my team members made eBay sales before I did. So, but usually what I tell people is list your first few items, list them today. Once you make your first sale, there's no reason to wait. Just, you have a story, you have a testimony, and you can leverage all the hundreds and thousands of stories that are floating around in our Facebook groups with people, being successful, making more than they ever did, paying a car payment they weren't able to pay before, or a house payment, or we've had several people quit their jobs after a while, and I don't recommend that people quit their jobs until they're, until they have at least replaced their income consistently, and you're in a place where you feel that's great. If you have debt, this is a big one, and I'm kind of sidetracking a little bit, but if you have debt and you're working DS Domination and you have a full-time job and you're working DS Domination on the side, don't quit your full-time job until, even if you replace your income at that point, if you still have debt, say you replace your income and you have your full-time job, kill your debt. Kill it. You can do it just like that, and then quit your job.
And it's things like that speaks volumes to people, I think. If you can say, no, I'm not living a millionaire lifestyle doing this. I've still got a job, but I've just paid off my $50,000 or $60,000 or pounds worth of debt while on the side in a few hours a week. I think that's very real to a lot of people. I think most people can't relate to a lot of these things, and especially the pretty vulgar things where you see people pictures of wads of cash and sports cars and all the rest of it. That's on a different level, and people can't appreciate that and relate to it. But yeah, if you can pay off debt, or if you can pay for that extra holiday or pay for a car payment, that's the kind of thing that gets attention in my eyes. And I agree entirely with what you just said.
Exactly. I think you and I think a lot alike.
Cool. that inspires me, so thank you. I'm going to again refer back to the little list of things. Do you obviously do a lot of connections on Facebook as far as private messages and stuff, but do you do any Facebook advertising, kind of pay-per-click type stuff?
Yeah, I love pay-per-click. I don't do it. I do it in spurts. I'm not consistent with it. I do it in spurts, and when I do it, I really like it. You just have to have a catchy photo, that people are going to want to click on, and a good funnel to run them through. You want to have something that they're going to feel comfortable putting their email address in, because that's really what it boils down to. If you can get their email address and you can start sending them some good autoresponders, that's when you're going to get a sign up. Very few people click join. Okay, it's not that instant. So yeah, I do like pay-per-click. I use it in spurts. I'm not as consistent as I am with some of the other stuff.
Cool. I'm the same, actually. I'm not. Consistency, I think, in this affiliate marketing business, in anything, whether it's options domination, DS domination, or anything else people are doing, the key is consistency. And I think at the moment you start seeing a result from something that you've done, you've been consistent for a short time, and then you get sidetracked and start dabbling with some other kind of marketing. Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to give you a kick up and say, you were consistent with this and it paid off, so continue being consistent. And I do dabble in a few different things, but the moment I am consistent with any level of marketing, I see a response from that. So cool. It's glad to hear that you. Do you find, incidentally, this is getting a little bit technical now for some people, but with pay-per-click, what kind of images do you find convert better or get people to click more?
I see a lot of these images with like eBay and the dollars coming out of it and that sort of thing. And honestly, I think a photo of yourself with your child with a bright background and some catchy, words, I think people are going to be more inclined to click on that personally. Now, haven't split tested it. I'm just thinking, well, what am I going to click on? Because when I see a picture of a person, if it's the person, I mean, I know people put models on there and stuff that aren't even related, but I'm talking about when you're advertising and you're signing your name and they know it's you and they know that they're talking to you and all that stuff. People get curious, like, oh, who is this person that gets to homeschool their kids and make money from home? Like, who is, and they'll click on it. So, but the bright background is important because you want it to stand out on the sidebar. You don't want it to just blend in. So you don't want Facebook colors. But yeah, I use, it's called, a friend of mine, Andrew, actually introduced me to it. He's a great marketer. It's called Canva, and it's a free website, canva.com, and that's where I make my thumbnails for YouTube on there. When I do pay-per-click, I'll make my little pay-per-click image there and that sort of thing. So they have all kinds of bright colors, and you can drag your own images into it and stuff.
Cool. Actually, I've come across Canva myself. I've not used it because I tend to use things like Paintshop and Photoshop, and things like that.
You're more techie.
Well, I don't know. I've taught myself over a long time, so I really wouldn't see myself as techie, but I've dabbled so much that I've picked up a few things. But Canva is that CANVER?
CANVA.com.
VA, that's it. I wrote it down somewhere and I forgot. Cool. Guys, that's worth checking out. I would recommend that myself, as I've heard lots of people talk about it, even though I've not used it myself. Cool. Right. Cracking on. Thank you for that.
I just want to interject one more thing, because we're talking about Facebook pay-per-click and what methods you use. I think a lot of people, they get so excited and they want to jump into the affiliate, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do Facebook, and I'm going to do Craigslist, and I'm going to do postcards, and I'm going to do YouTube, and they try and do all these things, but they're not getting good at any of them. So I would say maybe do one offline and one online. Focus on those for 3 to 6 months. Do them consistently before you move on to some other way. Things like Facebook pay-per-click are going to be a little more technical than other things, but I mean, there are a ton of ways to promote your business. There's Pinterest. There's not even pay-per-click. There's just Facebook attraction marketing. And my idea of Facebook attraction marketing tends to be a little different than most marketers out there, but I stand by it. So.
So you're saying, actually, again, I agree with you. Something I probably should have brought up earlier. Don't be necessarily a jack of all trades, master of none. Try and master one or two marketing techniques and be really, really good at them. Once you've mastered them and you see results from them consistently, then maybe you can afford to dabble in a couple of others, and so don't try and cast the net too wide in the early days. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Cool. Thank you. Actually, I have split tested that idea of yours there. I've got a lovely picture of myself and my daughter, and among all the other photos I use for marketing on Facebook, that one photo gets more clicks than any of them.
That's awesome. I knew it.
Yeah, it's strange how that works. It's not business related at all. Obviously, the copy is somewhat related to what I'm doing and what I'm trying to show people. But just a simple photo of two smiling people, dad and daughter, I think it's on a fairground ride. And it seems to really get people to click, which is, again, it must be that human element.
Yeah.
Of people wanting to see whether this person is real or not, probably.
Well, and that's such a huge concern now, that everything's so online and automated that people don't know. People just want real people at this point. They're so tired of the scams and signing up and never hearing from their sponsor, and they just are looking for that human element that we've seemed to have lost. So
cool. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've got about yeah, 15 minutes left. I try and keep these to about an hour. So again, I'm going to quickly flick to see if we've got any questions that are standing out. We've got quite a few people on, but they're being very quiet, so maybe they're not. Here we go. Kerry Painter says, Kenya, I'm blind, so drop cards, etc. are not easy for me to do independently. What online recruiting method would you recommend for somebody with a low skill set? Okay, so they.
You know, if you're, it depends on your resources. If you have some resources, because when we first started, we paid people to put our postcards out. Mm-hmm. I mean, when we first started, sorry, that's the opposite. We did it ourselves. But now, you know, we'll pay a couple of people. My husband always goes out with them because he doesn't, you know, he wants to know that they're actually doing what we're paying them to do. Mm-hmm. We'll know by the opt-ins, but still. So you could always outsource that. But if you're going to do online and if you're blind, I don't know fully what your setup is and how you're, you know, if you're speaking into a microphone and it's typing for you or that sort of thing, but then I would do, gosh, that's a good question. You can outsource Craigslist, but you guys have a different version or something, right?
Yeah, we do have Craigslist, but I think I personally don't do a lot on it right now. In recent months, I haven't done anything on it, but there are other alternatives to Craigslist that need to be a bit careful with. Sometimes we have a thing called Gumtree, which I don't know if you're aware of, and they used to allow us to promote businesses on there, but they've got so tight on that now that it really is down to just being very, very clever with how you promote it.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I think any of the online things, I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes. I'm sorry that I'm hesitating with this answer. If it's a matter of, you know what I would do? I mean, honestly, your goal should be to get people on the phone. I would do solo ads or something like that takes kind of if you have a good opt-in page and a funnel type thing, I would do solo ads or something or buy some leads to bring in there, make sure they're quality because they're not all created equal, and then make sure that you can get them on the phone, because I think in your situation you're going to be better off on the phone than typing back and forth or anything like that. And I may be completely wrong, and I apologize if I am.
I think you're bang on the money there, to be honest. I think that's the kind of thing. The only thing I think I can add to that would be, and at this, I've got to be very careful how this comes across because I do not want to offend Kerry in any way, shape or form. But obviously, if you're blind and you have connections with people who are visually impaired as well, that I would say that is a huge target market for someone like yourself, because if you have if you've experienced DS domination and the power of studying on eBay using the training and stuff, and you've managed to apply the training, you can then share that with other people and say, hey, look, you know, my disability, if I'm okay to call it that, that's not stood in the way of what I've been able to achieve, and you could do this too. I don't know what you think of that, Kenya, but I think there is a massive community out there of people that Kerry could help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there definitely is, and I mean, I know a lot of people on my team outsource a lot of their stuff to Odesk and stuff like that. Like they'll hire someone from Odesk, and they actually get listings up for them and everything. I mean, it's insane. I've never been able to let go of my accounts because I'm a control freak sometimes.
Yeah.
But my people who are doing it are doing very well, and if it's going to be a challenge for someone, they can't see what they're, you know, the picture, they can't do the listing, all that stuff because they're blind. If they have a little bit of resources, it's just a matter of being really smart about where you're putting those resources. You can hire someone from the Philippines through Odesk for very inexpensive, and they love their jobs and they love to work for you. They do.
And Kerry's actually just added to that. This is probably correcting me, and I appreciate the correction. She's saying I'm IT literate and I use the PC the same as you. So obviously she's got some very cool software. She just does it the same as us. So I apologize again if I've offended you there, Kerry. But that's cool. That's amazing that, you know, it's not holding you back at all, which is brilliant. Cool. Wow. That's amazing in itself. That is a story, if I could say that. That is brilliant.
You need to email Rick your story, Kerry. Like, he needs to know some details.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd really love to. Yeah, she's not in my team, but I've seen her about, and that's amazing. It really is. And I'm sure you'll be able to inspire a lot of people. Cool. Right. I will just have one last flick through these. Just look through the things I sent you, Kenya. I think we've pretty much touched on everything there. And I suppose, yeah, with 8 minutes left, I guess we could elaborate more on this. But if we could kind of finish by just, if there's somebody watching this and they are thinking, oh, yes, you know, I'm a bit more in the know now with what the affiliate side of DS Domination entails and the benefits and stuff. Kenya, what would be your, let's say, your top 3 things you would suggest for them to do, either when they finish watching this or tomorrow, or, you know, to get the ball rolling? What would the top 3 things be?
Are we specifically talking about the affiliate side?
Yes.
Okay. The first thing is I would set some goals for yourself. I would make a plan. And part of that plan needs to be not neglecting your e-commerce business. Sometimes I see people say, okay, I'm going to start the affiliate side, and then they neglect their e-commerce business, which is their bread and butter. And they start depending on other people coming into their business. And I think that's a grave mistake. They are making X amount of dollars on eBay, then they start losing focus on eBay, and they start moving towards just affiliate, and they think their eBay is going to sustain. It's not. You have to pay attention to that business. So I would say get a plan, make sure that you have time blocked for both, because when you're recruiting, you don't only, it's not just the time that it takes for you to market, but it's the time that you're going to have to put into that team, into those people that you bring in. So you really need to make sure that you are able to divide your time. So get a plan, don't neglect your e-commerce business, and decide one area of marketing that you want to focus on. If you can do a free area and you can afford also a paid area, do one of each. And when I say free area, I mean like Pinterest or Facebook, not the pay-per-click. I'm talking about just, you know, attraction marketing, building your friends list, engaging in chats there. But if you can choose one offline, or one free and one paid, and say, okay, this is how much I'm going to invest every month into paid, and this is how much time I'm going to invest, and be consistent with it. There is something about the law of consistency where you could be doing two different things. Maybe you're doing one thing. Okay, this has happened to me, so it's the craziest thing. I actually was telling my husband about it the other night. I might stop affiliate marketing altogether for a little while to regroup, or focus on, maybe you have things going on in your life, or focus on team stuff, or focus on FBA or whatever. But when you start taking action on the affiliate side, say I go blanket a parking lot with postcards, or say I make a new YouTube video and I throw it up on YouTube and rank it, I might get 3 or 4 signups that week that didn't come from either of those. They didn't come from postcards, and they didn't come from my YouTube video. maybe it's just people that are being attracted to me through Facebook. There's a law of consistency, and if you're consistent, you're going to produce results, even if it's not specifically related to that area. It's crazy, but it happens. So just be consistent.
Cool. So first thing would be to was that all three things? I'm trying to backtrack and trying to work out you.
Yeah, let me be more organized about those thoughts. Okay, so the first one is make a plan and time block your activities and make sure that you're not neglecting eBay. I guess that was only two. And the next one is pick something and be consistent with it. And I would say the third thing is, I just have to say it because I think it's so important in any area of life. Set aside some time for some personal growth. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's just reading a book or listening to an audiobook or something like that. And it's not just enough to read it. If you're going to read it, make sure that you're implementing at least part of what you're reading, because if you can read 1,000,000 books and if you never implement any of it, you're not going to grow. So that really, I would say for me, I used to be the most negative person you'd ever meet in your life. I promise you. I was foul, negative. And it wasn't until, this is when I was a single mom and I was just bitter, and it's just, I had to break myself out of that. And had I not done that, I never would have ended up marrying Alessandro, because he would not have been attracted to me. I was that bad. So I started growing personally. I started recognizing what kind of person I was, and it finally hit me. Instead of being jealous or negative about other people's success and saying, oh, well, of course they're happy. They're happy because they have money, and they're happy because they don't have to, they have it easy and this and that. Well, what came first? Were they positive and they attracted that to their life? Or, and I think that's what it was, because I bet you they were already that happy, positive person, and they attracted success into their life. It's not that they were successful and that's why they're happy. The opposite. They were happy, and that's why they're successful. So personal growth. That's my third one. You've got to do it.
Very happy you added that. I really am, because as technical as I could get, and as much value we could share on the affiliate side, I think personal development has a place in every single marketing strategy, online and offline. I do a thing, the 30-30-30 thing. I picked up. I think I just tweaked it from somebody actually, but I picked it up from some friends of mine. Chris and Susan Beasley, I think it was, who some people know in the UK, and it was read for 30 minutes personal development, listen to 30 minutes of personal development audio, and I didn't know what the last one was. I've forgotten, but I do 30 minutes of writing in my journal, which sometimes goes on for more than half an hour, to be honest, but it's just getting my thoughts and it can come into sort of goal setting as well, but putting pen to paper is just, I guess, another medium of getting it imprinted into your mindset and stuff like that.
I 100% agree with the pen, 100%.
Cool. Well, that inspires me as well. I'm doing something right. Awesome. Kenya, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. I will do one last check to see if we have any questions at the last minute. Bear with me. Can't see anything here. Rachel says it's good to be reminded of the little stories to tell. Yeah, I think people, they say facts tell, stories sell. That's an old MLM thing I picked up years ago, and it really does, people can relate. Say again. What was that, Kenya? You agree with that?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you that I know that saying very well.
Yeah, cool. I think people can relate more to stories, and they find a way to fit it in with their own life, and sort of, it definitely gets the message home. Cool. And to round it off, maybe in the last 30 seconds, how do you feel DSD and OD are going into the future, and how do you see your future with them?
Oh,
I think I know the answer to this, but
I am over the moon excited about the direction that they're going. DSD, when I started, didn't have all the tools. It was just eBay training.
Mm-hmm.
And they just keep bringing more, and they're going to keep bringing more. I mean, Roger's redoing the videos right now. They're going to be releasing some stuff at the event, and I know it's far for you guys, but I hope that some of you can make it. They're going to release some new stuff, and their heart, I love their heart. They just want to create systems where everybody is succeeding. And I am not going anywhere. This is it. This is where I'm planted. This is my priority, and I love this company. I love DS Domination. I love Kevin, Hitesh, Jason, Roger. They're all incredible people with a huge vision, and I'm uniting with them 100%, and I'm going to help them bring their vision to pass. So that is what I'm doing.
That is amazing to hear, and I'm exactly with you on that. I feel very at home in DS Domination. It's the fact, the atmosphere, the community, and I think everybody's heart is in the right place with this, and it's really very comfortable being involved in DSD. So on that note, Kenya, thank you so much for sharing that, and I'm certain people who are either live watching now or watch the recording will get some massive value from that. So thank you for spending time with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm honored, and I really appreciate getting to hang out with y'all.
Cool. Thanks a lot. And guys, that's the end of it. Please do make sure next month, I'm going to try and do my best to get Kevin on next month. I know he's a busy chap, and there's always going to be a bit of an issue with timing if he's over in, you say he's in Japan?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's always going to be a bit of a challenge. But
so right now, at this hour, it is about at 4 o'clock. It's 8. It's like 6 a.m. for him. Well, no, it's like 5 a.m. for him right now.
Cool. So that's my challenge then. So we're ending on a challenge to try and get Kevin up early in the morning to join us next month. So send out the positive vibes, people. We could really do with him. And Kenya, thank you once again for joining us.
Thanks.
See you guys. Bye-bye.